Okay guys, welcome to today's video where we're going to be repairing this PMD2 DCC board. It's basically the power supply for the thing. It's a DC to DC converter, and you know those PMD2 cabinets are the signal boards for the, it basically just detects if there's a train on the track to tell the drop arm to drop. So that's what that is, and we'll be repairing that in today's video. I wanted to discuss real quick, the other day I did a YouTube short and I said I was going to do a follow-up video to it. I haven't done a follow-up video to it yet because it's about the new Digital Millennium Copyright Act exemptions for this year, the new one that got approved, and it's a bunch of legal jargon that I'm not the best person to explain, which is why I haven't done it yet. I thought it'd be a little bit easier to kind of weed out and be able to do an explanation video on it. And yeah, it's a bunch of legal jargon. So I may not do that video. So don't hold your breath on that one. I'm trying to find someone to help me do it. Give me some legal advice that's not legal advice for the video. But I don't know, we'll see. That video may or may not happen. I just wanted to touch base on that for the regular subscribers that might be like, what the heck's going on there? And also, by the way, you can tell it's winter in Florida because it's 62 degrees out, so we start busting out our hoodies. So I got myself a custom-made hoodie because I don't like a lot of my other hoodies. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna get a new one this year. So I was like, yeah, I might as well get one for myself. So yeah, hey, got a hoodie. But yeah, let's get into this, do this repair, and take a look at it. So I'm gonna move the camera and we'll get to work on this. Okay, so these DCC boards, they really only come in for repair for 3 different kind of problem areas. So your first and most common one is like this, where one of these 2 transistors failed, and this guy blows. It's just a little jumper wire that goes across there. It blows as if it's a fuse instead of the fuse. This is just a spare fuse. This one's the actual fuse. So yeah, these 5 amp slow blow fuses are like extra slow blow, and I've never seen one blown on these. But yeah, so it's generally this right here. The other way they come in failed is like this, where a various tantalum capacitor on here has just exploded all over the board, and that's what's happened here. That's a tantalum that just blew up in there. And then the third way they come in as a failure is somewhere in this area will have a various failed component depending on what happened to it. This section of the board right here actually is not power regulation. This is though. All of this here is power supply. I feel like they didn't have enough room for everything on the SYDT board card, and this is a continuation of the stuff that's on that card. A lot of these pins go to there. Okay, so since we already kind of know what our problem is, generally all what we're looking at is one of the 2 of these are failed, and then we have that cable, and that's all what we have to do is replace one of them. And the note from the field technician on this is burn trace wire lightning damage is what we have on our notes. So this is lightning damage, which is most of what comes in here anyways, is lightning damage on these. So let's go ahead and just get these off of here. I'm going to presume that this one's failed and that one's not. I'm going to replace them both anyways. They're cheap enough. You might as well just replace them both. All right, so let's go ahead and actually test them and verify that they are failed. They do occasionally come in where they're both fine and it's just that wire is blown. So if you don't have one of these, you probably have never worked on an amplifier, but yeah, these things are really useful. They are not, oh no, I gotta fix it again. Okay, and we fixed it there. Let's see, is it still hot? No, I can screw that back on. Wire broke on me. I've had this one for a while, but yeah, super useful tool. They're pretty cheaply made, but they get the job done for letting you know, hey, is this transistor working or not? That's really all I'd use it for. I don't really trust it for any of the measurements it gives you that much, but it does work. So there we go. This one is definitely failed. It has turned into 2 diodes with a resistor. No longer a transistor anymore. Let's see here. And this one has not failed. So yeah, one of the two of them failed. So this would have been that one. And this would have been that one. It's generally this one that fails. And you can tell too, because it'll get the board really hot when they fail. So yeah, this one's still good, but I'm gonna replace them both. So that's that. They are both bad. Let's go ahead and turn back on our desoldering station. And we need to just desolder this wire. And that's probably all is what's wrong with this thing. So this one has been repaired before. Somebody repaired it back in 2017. And it looks like all what they did was replace those two transistors and probably this wire at that time. They may have it looks like they also replaced this capacitor here too. It looks freshly soldered in there. Okay, so let's take care of this wire first. I prefer to do it first because it's easier while these are out. Then once you put them back in, then you're trying to get in between the two of them. So let's see here. Get it just roughly right amount. All right, so next to these, so we definitely don't need this leg. All right, so all I was doing there was shaping them to get them where I put them in there. Don't want to forget to put on thermal compound. Ooh. Got a little more than we wanted on there. One sec. Didn't realize how deep I stuck this Q-tip in there. Made a big old mess. All right, so let's get these on here. The way I like to do them on this setup is just drop them in there, put the screw in, and then solder them down. And then after I solder it down, then I'll tighten up the screw a little more. All right, so let's solder these on here. We're gonna touch up some of these other solder joints. These are not my work. They're whoever worked on this board last, but I don't want somebody to think that I'm the one leaving these cold solder joints on here, so I'm going to go ahead and take care of them. And I'm going to clean up all this flux off the board. Hey, look at that. That's completely balled over. That's a very cold solder joint. All right, now let's just tighten these screws down. And that's all there is to it. Let me stick this in there and test it. So I didn't mention it before, but the main symptom you'll have on the cabinet before you get to these is that it'll be pulling the 5 amps and then nothing else will function. So the whole thing will be dead and you'll be pulling 5 amps on the whole PMD2 cabinet there. So yeah, let me go ahead. I'm sure it'll pull more than 5 amps, but I put a 5 amp limit on my power supply, so it won't pull more than the 5 amps. But yet that 5 amp fuse never blows on these things. So as you can see, we have power, and let's just give it a second to boot up here. There we go. We got the phase and the RX is going, and the next wait is for the MD light to come on. Takes it a little while, so we'll just give that some time. You can't quite see it, but there's a screen on this side that'll show you your phase and your RX level. And there we go. We have our MD working. So yep, we have repaired the DCC board. This is my normal test one right here that's normally sitting in there, but yep, the one we just repaired is in it. So that is this board right here. That's all I have for the repair video today. I figure let's take a look over here, and there we go. We have a nominal 1.24 amps that it's pulling. So yep, it's a working DCC board. And that's all there is to the repair. These are pretty simple. I really didn't get into too many details on it because, I mean, it's just a switch mode power supply that the transistors fail on. Most of the time, that's all what you're dealing with are bad transistors here. They're just two PNP transistors. Occasionally, you're dealing with blown tantalum capacitors. There's really not too many things that go wrong on a regular basis with this circuit board. All the other problems you have are kind of like one-off random things. Like sometimes you'll get them with these ceramic capacitors cracked, but they're cracked from being in the back of their truck for so long, they get banged up and then they come in cracked. So yeah. Well, that's it for this repair. It's a pretty easy one. You know, it's just a DC to DC converter, so nothing too complicated, nothing too crazy to go into on the circuit board. That's why I really didn't go into too much detail about the circuit board itself. I think the next video will be the video where I get the new circuit boards for this. They're in the mail. They should be here any day now. So I'll get the new circuit boards for this. I'll go into some detail about the microcontroller, the code in that one. I'll also show how to make the footprint that I made for it in KiCad for anybody that just wants to learn how to do that stuff. Maybe I'll do 3D printing in that video, but it's a lot of content. It may be split into two videos. I might do a separate video for 3D printing the card holder and everything for it. So I hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you in the next one.